Hello there, fellow adventurers. This is Sorvesteon, and I am bringing you another taming guide for Riders of Icarus. In this taming guide, we're going to go after Murasa. So Murasa is a leopard. Kind of looks like a snow leopard. But anyways, apparently made its way down into Parna's coast and then kind of caught the eye of the pirates. So the pirates are who we're going to be going after in order to find the recipe to craft the mark to tame Murasa. And it seems, according to the bestiary, that Shaban the Craven knows exactly how it was done. So in other words, he has the recipe that will tell us how we can create the mark, or allow us to create the mark, to tame Murasa. Now, you will find Shaban the Craven over here in Bismuth Cove. So Bismuth Cove is this area right here, this kind of mountain range looking area on the map. It's just northeast of the Sacred Shallows, and you can see the Sacred Shallows off in the distance there. And Shaban the Craven is located in this area right here. This is the area where Bismuth spawns. He spawns on this wooden platform where all these barrels are. Now, Shaban the Craven is actually right there. He spawns over here by this set of barrels, and then he pats down to this area, and then he kind of just goes back to his original spawn. So he just kind of pats across this area. Now this area is a no-fly zone. It's also a no-mount zone. So like you can see, I just got demounted, and the restrictions only allow me pets. So you can have pets going into this area, but you cannot use your mount. So obviously, if you're not a DPS class or you're not a tank, then this could put you, well, actually it doesn't matter what class you are, this puts you at a little bit of a disadvantage. You're not allowed to use mounted combat. Everything in here is an elite. Now, they're not really that dangerous. They're only level 32, and to be honest, they don't really have too much health. But the problem is how they aggro together. See, you can see Shaban the Craven coming towards me here, and this is really how you want to fight him if you're going to farm him for the recipe. You want to bring him over to this area and then basically pull him out of the area, pull him over onto this these white rocks, so that he's not around these other mobs that kind of pat around this area. Now, you can see with the way this guy's padding and the way that Shaban's padding, it's very hard to pull him without pulling that elite. In fact, it is extremely hard to pull Shaban the Craven, period, without pulling other elite enemies in this area. In fact, never once have I been able to pull just Shaban the Craven. Now, you can see he's gone back to his spawning location, so I have two choices. I can either try and pull him myself, because I'm a tank, and I can do that, or I can wait for him to pat over here and then just, try and pull him from here. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to pull him from where he is right now. You can see, even though he was like this far away, this pirate strategist still aggroed with him, and I don't know what's going on with the aggro in this area. And see, I pulled Murasa too. So this is where Murasa is. Okay, so Shaban the Craven himself has a fair amount of HP. Is not super easy to take down. The other elites aren't too bad. Murasa himself's not too bad. He dies fairly quickly. But you know what? There's actually two other mini-bosses in Bismuth Cove that have a chance of dropping the recipe. And, well, one isn't really that much better for farming. There is another one that is much better. So let me show you the other two. So in order to get out of this area and be able to use a flying mount, I do have to get back onto this rock. Once I'm on this rock, then I don't know what happened to my mount there. I can fly again. Now the other guy or the second guy that has a chance of dropping the recipe is just right over here, not too far away. His name is Barbaros the Simple. Now, in this area, you can use both ground and flying mounts. The problem, though, as you can see, is look how many elites are around him. There are 3 that don't move, and then there are 3 that pat right by him. So you really don't have a whole lot of room, and you do have a high chance of aggroing these other elites. So, you know, unlike Shabam, where you might aggro 1 or 2, with Barbaros, you might end up aggroing 6, and that would be highly undesirable. Now, what I found while farming him, yes, I did farm him because I wanted to confirm that the recipe actually drops off of him, and it does. What you can do is you can come over to the backside of this hut, because here there's this little area, and there's no mobs that come near here. So you have a nice little safe area right here. And you can just pull Barbaros through this. Here, let me get off my mount and show you. You can pull him through this kind of hut. Here, let me show you. I'll use my knife and see it. I hit him, and now he's going to come through this hut, and I didn't get anything. I didn't get any of the other elites that are around him, so that makes fighting him much more simple. This guy you do want to fight mounted, because as you can see, you know, I'm not fighting him mounted right now, and he's going to do a shoulder charge, hopefully soon, and that shoulder charge will knock you down, and it's highly annoying. Oh, come on, do a shoulder charge for me. There we go, now he's doing a shoulder charge. See, and it will knock you over. It's highly annoying. But if you fight him on your mount, then it's not an issue, because for some reason, being mounted, he still hits you with the shoulder charge, but he doesn't knock you down. I don't know why that is, but that's just the way things are. And so this is probably, you know, the best way to fight him, you know, over here, without having to fight all the other elites. Now, he is a bit of a pain in the butt, as you can see. When I hit him, see, he's doing another shoulder charge, and he didn't knock me down. Okay. Now, I've hit him with an explosive shot. I'm hitting him with focus barrage. And look how much health I've taken away. This guy has an insane amount of health, and that means farming him is just going to take forever. I mean, he is literally a tank. He doesn't look like a tank, but he is a tank. He has probably, you know what, I'm not even going to try and guess how much health he has. He has a lot. And you can see, like, it just doesn't make a whole lot of difference. Going after Shabam is much faster, even though you have to pull him, and even though you have to wait for him to pad over to an area where it's easy to pull him, farming Shabam is still faster than trying to farm Barbaros here, just because of the sheer amount of HP that Barbaros has. Anyways, I'm not going to sit around here and keep going after Barbaros. We're going to head down to another area, to the third mini-boss that has a chance of dropping a Murasa recipe. Or I should say, yeah, the Murasa mark recipe. The third guy is located down here in the southern part of Bismuth Cove, where these 4 tents are. His name is Avar the Swift. Now, he is by far the easiest out of the 3 to farm. Mostly because, 1, you can use your mount, so you can fight him while mounted. The other reason, he has a lot less health than both Shaban and Barbaros. I think he's kind of like an assassin type enemy. Anyways, so I'm just gonna go and I'm gonna attack him. Now this other pirate sentry will aggro with him, but it's not really too much of an issue. I mean, just use your whirlwind spear and, you know, explosive shot, and he will die relatively easily. But anyways, the point is this guy is much easier because you don't have to worry about padding monsters like you do in the other areas. You don't really have to pull him that far. There's no real tricks to doing it. You just hit him and bring him over and you have this nice big safe area to work with. Heck, you could even kite him in this area if you didn't want to, or if you had trouble dealing with his damage. But see, this guy dies relatively quickly. And like the other guys, they all have a fairly good respawn rate. None of them, you know, take a particularly long time to respawn. There we go. He didn't drop anything for me this time. It's a little bit unfortunate. The drop rate for all three is the same, and it's for all three, the drop rate is rather horrible. I mean, you could kill one of these mini-bosses 25 times and you will never see the recipe drop. That's the unfortunate side of trying to farm for an uncommon item. Now, obviously, if you don't want to go farm for the recipe in Bismuth Cove, you don't have to. You can always just go to the auction house. And let me just pop up my portable auction broker. Alright. Murasa. Recipe. So there are 5 recipes on the auction house right now. And let's go with the lowest price. I'm too lazy to sort through things. And see, there is one going for 5 gold. Actually, that's the one that I put up. But there are some others going for 10, 14, 15, 20 gold. So it depends. It depends on what server you're on. It depends on kind of what the state of the auction house is. It depends if people have been farming this or not. If there's nothing on the auction house, well then you will have to come and farm one of these 3 mini-bosses in order to get the recipe. Alright, now once you have the recipe, my barter crafting, where's my Murasa mark? It's right here. We really don't have to get a whole lot of things. All we need is 7 feral snowclaw wolves, some familiar orbs, and some elite taming potions. So let's go get some feral snowclaw wolves. Now you can find these feral snowclaw wolves in Wintertide Pass. And I am at the western entrance to Wintertide Pass. It goes all the way from Garrison 4 all the way up through here to the Sacred Shallows. It even extends down into Blasphemer Swamp. So you can see these white paths here, and then this lower one here that kind of forms this eye. So go from where I am here, follow this white path, take the lower path and this kind of area as well, and then head up here and go all the way to the entrance of the Sacred Shallows, and then come all the way down this other white path towards the Blasphemer Swamp to about here, and that is the extent of Wintertide Pass. So the feral snowclaw wolves, you can find them in here, but they are attached to another wolf. You can see here there is a snowclaw wolf and a feral snowclaw wolf. And these two always come as a pair. I have never seen a feral snowclaw wolf by itself unless someone came along and killed the snowclaw wolf that was with it. So normally you're going to find these in pairs, and the real trick is getting rid of the snowclaw wolf without killing the feral snowclaw wolf. And I'm going to attempt to do that. Alright, I put my buff up, and let's see if I can pull it. Nope, pulling it aggroed the other one as well. And see, now that's the trouble. See, even my auto attack is an AoE, and just so many attacks in Riders of Icarus are AoE, so you have to try and use something that's single target. It doesn't have any AoE because these have so little health. Okay, I managed to kill the snowclaw wolf, so now I have a feral snowclaw wolf remaining just by itself with half health. I'm not going to bother hitting it anymore because I'm afraid that I might kill it. And I'm just going to jump on this thing. These things aren't too hard to tame. The hardest part about them is not killing them before you tame them. Now, You don't have to kill the other Snowclaw Wolf. So here, I've got myself one. Let me get off. This is why I love Apocalypse. Such a fast mount. So there's another pair right here. See, there's a Snowclaw Wolf and the Feral Snowclaw Wolf. Unless you have, like, no health, then where you might have to kill the Snowclaw Wolf so that it doesn't kill you, it is possible just to jump on the Feral Snowclaw Wolf by itself. And by doing this, see, the other guy isn't actually aggroing onto me, and that's fantastic. Well, now he did. But at this point, I've already gotten my Feral Snowclaw Wolf, and I can just hop on my Apocalypse and run away. So if you ever see a Snowclaw Wolf just by itself here in the Wintertide Pass, that's because someone used this second method to grab the Feral Snowclaw Wolf and without actually killing its attendant Snowclaw Wolf. See, there's another one. Now, there's only a couple pairs in here. I think there's like maybe 4 or 5 pairs that I've seen that go up and down this pass, and you need 7 Feral Snowclaw Wolves. Now, fortunately though, you can just kind of go from one end of the pass to the other and then start heading back, and by the time you head back, the other Feral Snowclaw Wolves should have respawned. They take about a minute to respawn, so it's really not too bad. Now, just one more quick note on taming a Feral Snowclaw Wolf. Whether you can get on the Feral Snowclaw Wolf without killing the Snowclaw Wolf itself and not have the Snowclaw Wolf aggro, kind of depends on whether or not the Snowclaw Wolf aggroes first. So here, well, let's see, I'm going to kind of head over here, and I'm going to jump on this Feral Snowclaw Wolf, but he aggroed first. So you can see now that this Snowclaw Wolf is attacking me while I'm on it, but it really doesn't hit me for too much. I mean, it hits me for like 50 damage. So even a priest might only take like 100 damage, 200 damage from this thing. So, you know, you can just pop some of those healing balls over top of your head before you jump on. And just another quick note, you can see I'm down here by Blasphemer Swamp, and there are Snowclaw Wolves down here. This is part of Wintertide Pass, just over here. Like, see if I just walk over. I have entered Wintertide Pass. So as you can see, there are some Snowclaw Wolves over here, but there are no Feral Snowclaw Wolves. So to find the Feral Snowclaw Wolves, it's just the road heading from the Sacred Shallows down towards the Garrison Fort, basically. Alright, so I've gathered all 7 Feral Snowclaw Wolves. I have just one more to seal up, and I'm going to do that right now. And I think that's about everything. I just need 2 more elite taming potions because I don't have any on hand.
You won't find pieces like this anywhere else.
There we go.
One-of-a-kind items.
Now I have everything I need to craft myself a Murasa mark. So let's go ahead and do that. And I got 1 Murasa mark from that. Alrighty, so now that I've got my Murasa mark and I'm all set and ready to go tame Murasa, I thought now would be a great opportunity to talk about some of the other ways that you can get a Murasa mark. The most obvious is, of course, the auction house. You can just buy it straight off of here if people are producing it. And as you can see here, because the price is varying wildly, I don't think a lot of people are producing Murasa marks at the moment. So, you know, it's supply and demand, right? Another way that you can get the Murasa mark is through your dungeon achievements. By running the dungeons on the elite difficulty 20 times, you can get these elite Parnafamiliar mark boxes. Now, they provide you 1 random mark to tame an elite familiar in Parna's Coast. So whether or not you get a Murasa mark is totally up to RNG. Also, you know, if there are any daily rewards or in-game events happening, currently there are none that are providing elite Parnifamiliar mark boxes or Murasa marks, but who knows, in the future, maybe there might be. So that is another possible way to obtain this mark. Another way you can tame Murasa without even requiring this mark is through the Lair of Icarus. It has a chance to randomly spawn one ground familiar, and that familiar has a chance to be Murasa. And in the Lair of Icarus, you'll get these familiar control stones, which act as a multi-mark. So you won't even need a Murasa mark. But again, that's, very chance-based. If you need to tame Murasa now, then your best bet is to go to the auction house or to craft the mark yourself. All the other methods are highly chance-based, and they're great if, it happens when it happens. But, if you are in a hurry, then these other methods probably, won't work for you. Anyways, so let's go tame Murasa. So, quite conveniently, Murasa is located in the same area as Shaban the Craven, that being Bismuth's raid area. Now, Murasa spawns just over here where my mouse is, next to the platform, and then will pat down over towards me, and once he gets to about here, he will then start patting over past these barrels over to the far barrels, where he will then turn around and then pat back to his original spawn. So that's all well and fine, but there's some good news and there's some bad news. The good news is that Murasa only has a 2.5 minute respawn time. This pretty much guarantees that Murasa will always be up no matter when you come and look for it. The bad news is this guy here, and this guy over here, and these guys over here. All the other elites in this area. Some pat, some don't. But, well, as you know, when you tame a familiar, they tend to run around. And in this area, that's not good, because Murasa will run straight into other level 32 elites. And not just one, probably several. And several will kill you quite quickly, unless you're a tank. Oh, see, there's one right over there, and I didn't even notice it. So, I mean, that's just how easy it is, for elites to sneak up on you in this area. So, in order to tame Murasa, what I really recommend is that you take out some of these padding elites, and then you pull Murasa over to this area where I am right here, these white rocks. The same place that I recommended that you pull Shaban the Craven over to kill him, so that you didn't end up aggroing, a good chunk of the elites in this raid zone. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to take out him. I mean, there's just no way to get around it. The elites in this area have, an annoying amount of health. And I say that because, usually I just want to kind of dispatch them quickly. I want to tame my monster and I want to move on to do other things, right? I don't want to have to spend lots of time clearing out an area to tame one elite familiar. So it's a little bit annoying just how much preparation you have to do in the area to make it so that you can safely tame Murasa. Alright, so now that I've cleared out the area, one thing I do need to be wary of is respawns. It did take me a little while to clear out some of the elites around Murasa. See, look at that. Right there. And that's what I'm talking about. You can clear out the elites, but it depends on how quickly you can clear them out. And that's another reason why I said the amount of health they have is kind of annoying. For the amount of time it takes you to clear out one, and then, another one, and so on, they have a good chance of respawning before you actually, get around to taming Murasa. So, you know what? I'm just going to pull Murasa over here. I can do that because I'm a tank, and I'm going to pull it over into this kind of the area of these white rocks. I'm going to beat down its health. Why? Because I can. And I'm just gonna have to hope that my timing is good and that there's nothing else padding around over here. So that when I jump on Murasa, you can see Murasa kind of got stopped by this rock wall. And that's important because otherwise Murasa would have just kept running. And well, the taming process is going pretty good, but you know, I can't really look around, so I'm not really too sure what's going on around me. So, and because I'm in an area where mounts aren't allowed, Murasa was immediately dismissed. So I think it all kind of comes down to your timing. See, Shaban the Craven was all the way over here. The other elite that pats is all the way over there. And, you know, I pulled Murasa all the way over to these rocks so that if Murasa did end up running out towards this, where these elites are, it wouldn't run out too far. So, you know, it depends on your DPS and how quickly you can clear these elites out. If you have some friends, then all the better. If you don't have any friends and you're just soloing it, then, you know, you're really going to need to depend on good timing, I think. Because I don't think, especially if you're a tank or a priest, you're not going to have the DPS to clear these elites out fast enough in order to create a safe zone around you. Alrighty, so let's take a quick look at Murasa's stats and its skills. You can see its stats here. Its maximum level is 35. Skill-wise, Murasa gets the Bitter Cold Resistance passive, the Tiger Aura passive, which increases physical attack, and the Tiger Roar buff, which increases physical critical damage by 10 for 30 seconds, and that's on a 50-second cooldown. And if we were to go and seal Murasa up, we would get strength and physical crit rate. And that is how you tame Murasa in Parnas Coast. This has been Sorvesteon. Don't forget to click like and subscribe to my channel for more taming guides for Riders of Icarus. Until next time, fellow adventurers, take care and have fun.